Hey everyone, and welcome back. So, it's time for the Warp Zone, our weekly news show where we take a look at what's happening in the gaming world, specifically focused around the Nintendo Switch and Switch family. Hey, soon I'm going to have to start saying focused around the Nintendo Switch 2. We are getting there, and honestly, I think a lot of the stories tonight, anyway, are already focused around the Switch 2, but we are getting so god dang close now. It's pretty crazy to think that in about a month and a half, there's going to be a huge shift in things, and we're going to have a Nintendo Switch 2 in our hands. Honestly, I'm like I can't wait. I'm starting to really get antsy. We're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff tonight, amongst which is the pre-order date, which is now decided for North America. I'm finally gonna be able to pre-order my god dang Switch 2 and have that checked off the list. We're gonna talk about prices also changing a bit in the US for some Switch related stuff. We're going to be looking at Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which has had some first impressions released, and things are looking incredibly good for that game. And we've got a bunch of little stories. Once again, and I think I really liked what we did last week, where we caught up on one of the big sort of live events on stream, and we're going to do the same thing tonight. So we're going to go through all the Switch stories one by one. And then before we get into the new games for this week, we're going to watch the Mario Kart World Direct because I didn't have the chance to watch it with you guys live. I was working that morning and I've already taken so much time off for all the Switch 2 stuff happening that honestly, I just couldn't do it. And I don't want to lie. I didn't think it would like there. I obviously I watched it, but I watched it like while I was working on a break. So I watched it, but like I was super distracted by other stuff. So I'll be honest. Tonight's the first time I'll be watching it, doing nothing else at the same time. But obviously, when I looked at the reactions online, it was sort of like a medium. Like some people were saying it's a nothing burger, while other people were like, oh my God, this thing looks like the best thing ever. So I'm going to have to be making up my mind tonight which side I'm going to be on. But definitely that is we're going to be watching that together tonight, and I think I'm going to try to do that more often when we have these live events that I'm going to miss, where we watch them during the show. Either way, it's like 16 minutes long, so honestly I'm glad I didn't take like a day off for a 16-minute like Mario Kart Direct. Had this thing been like a half hour to 45 minutes, I've been like, okay man, they went all out. But it is what it is. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to go through a bunch of little stories. We're going to watch the Mario Kart World Direct. And we're going to finish up as usual with the new Switch games for this week. Now, I've got to say first, I'm pretty freaking pissed off because my Montreal Canadiens lost their first hockey game in the playoffs against Washington. And it was a heartbreaking match because we were down like 2-0 into the third period. We managed to pull out to bring it back up to 2-2, and then like within the first 5 minutes of overtime they scored and we lost. So it was really like a heartbreaking match, and I don't know, we needed to start strong against that team. They're first in the East, we're last in the East in the playoffs, so like we needed to start strong. Anyway, so I'm going to start by saying hi to everyone in the chat that I can see so far. Hey, Nanaki. Hey, Squirrel. Frenchy Mom, welcome. Wild One, welcome back. Matu B2. Corey, welcome back. Annie, hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the stream. And I think I've got everyone so far. Now, I am realizing that my voice is a little scratchy. Not too sure where that's coming from. But let me see if I have anything in my Xbox fridge. It is dry. It is dry. So, Might have to go grab something to drink to make sure that I don't completely destroy my voice during tonight's show. I sort of need my voice, for some important stuff. Might need to talk for the rest of this week. So, yeah, not tea. I'm going to just grab something. I just need to keep it moist. I just need to keep like some moisture going. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to run and grab something really quick. Okay, I'm back. Don't worry, guys. I'm back. We're back. We're back. It's all good. It's all good. Now, I grabbed a Diet Pepsi. To be honest, I'm out of beer. I'm out of beer right now, so I know, but I'm out of beer. Sad times, I know. And here, liquor stores can't sell you them after 11. Actually, I've got some Cuban rum. I've got some Cuban rum upstairs, but yeah. We're just going to keep it going with some Diet Pepsi tonight. I know. Don't worry, guys. I'll stock up on beer again, and we'll have it for the next stream. Okay? We'll have it for the next stream. Oh, okay. There we go. Things are better now. We're back. We're top notch now. Hey, thank you so much for the renewed membership, Jumping Bear. Welcome back, man. IR Bear. Yes, you definitely are Bear, my man. Okie dokie. So let's slowly move into our stories for this week. We've got a lot of really cool little updates to stuff. Number one, some fresh news just hit a few hours ago. We are getting an update to the Nintendo Switch Online app for the Game Boy Advance Plus expansion pack. And it is a big one. At least to me, it is a very big one because this is an incredibly good game in the series. We are getting Fire Emblem, The Sacred Stones, hitting the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion app. Honestly, if you've never tried a Fire Emblem game and you sort of want to jump into the series, I would say if you have the expansion pack, this would actually be a really good jumping on point. And it just might get you to try the Switch games after. Now, obviously, graphics-wise, it's a Game Boy Advanced app. But let's be honest, for a tactical RPG, graphics aren't the most important part. And the Switch games are actually some really good ones in the series as well. I preferred the first one to the second, but overall, still both solid entries. Very solid entries in the series. Why is Rick sad? Because my Montreal Canadiens lost. Not the Canucks. The Canucks is a different team, Squirrel. The Canadiens and the Canucks are not the same team. But yeah, we lost. We lost, and I'm really bummed. But don't worry, it's a playoff, so it's the best of 7. So like, we still have time to turn this around. We still have time to turn this around. What's up, Topaz? What's up? Topaz is like looking at me like, can I come? Yes, you can. You can sit down. Okay. So let's take a look quickly at the trailer for Fire Emblem. Like I said, an incredibly good game. I'll be honest, I think that out of all the libraries, the Game Boy Advance library is quickly becoming one of the best libraries that we have on the Nintendo Switch Online app. It's like most of the games are totally fire on that one. Like, I'll be honest, like it's hard to beat the SNES library and the NES library because there's so many iconic titles. But if we're talking about titles that actually bridge the gap between like modern and older games, I think the Game Boy Advanced library has some really good titles, and especially that there are a lot of them are really great introductions to series that we now have on the Switch that can, so it's like a really great like bridge for people that want to try them out. Of course, you need the expansion pack. So, it is a bit restrictive on the access side, but still great. Let's take a look at the trailer and we'll talk about it after. Sounds at the max, right? Yeah, we're good. Like, obviously, graphically, it's hard to get excited over the graphics of the game, but they're still solid for the Game Boy Advanced. And the gameplay and storyline are phenomenal. Like, this trailer doesn't do it justice. I mean, if you know the game, you're going to be excited by this trailer. But if you don't know the game, I don't feel like it does it justice. It doesn't, like, give you that oomph that this game really is very, very good. Very, very good. Like, honestly. So, yeah. Definitely a great addition. And you know what? Nintendo's been doing a really good job. I really thought they were going to tone it. I've said this multiple times now, but I really thought they were going to tone it down with the rush up to the Switch 2. I'm really happy that they're keeping this going so that it really feels like, guys, we're going to keep delivering during the Switch 2 era. And this is a continuation. So they're doing a really good job on that side. But yeah, so I think we've talked enough about this. Fire Emblem, check it out. Sacred Stones, coming to Nintendo Switch Online. A couple of more stories on the really fun side. Just in case you missed it, Paul Rudd, back in 1991, was part of one of the first commercials for the Super Nintendo. So if you don't know, Paul Rudd, guy who plays Ant-Man in the Marvel Universe, known for many other movies as well, which are not coming to mind right now because, let's be honest, like he's been most known for Ant-Man over the last like 6-7 years, easy, even maybe 10 years. First, let's watch the original commercial from 1991 that he had done back in the day. At this point, you have to know that this guy was like a unknown entity. He was like almost a Mr. Nobody back then. But he was actually in the commercial for the original Super Nintendo. So let's watch this and see where it started. And then we're going to leap into what Nintendo did this week. Man, 90s commercials for video games went so hard.
When you decide to step up to this kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying, crashing feeling, when you decide
there
to
he
get
is.
Serious, there's only one place
Ant-Man
to come.
playing Zelda.
Super Nintendo. No one else creates this
Pilot
kind of
Wings,
experience.
F-Zero, SimCity. Man, you got it all.
Now you're playing with power, superpower.
Now you're playing with power. Superpower. Like, let's be honest, 90s games commercials were peak. I think, like, game commercial wise, 90s game commercials were peak. It never got better than that. And this commercial is great. Not as iconic as the Mortal Kombat, like Mortal Monday crap, but definitely up there. Well, Nintendo, to celebrate the release of the Switch 2, which I've been saying for a long time, could be the reproduction of jumping from the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo. You know how they just basically made a way more powerful Nintendo with a Super Nintendo? Like, they didn't go off the rails. Well, the Switch to the Switch 2 is sort of like the same idea. It's the same basic concept, just way better. Okay? Well, guess what? they brought Paul Rudd back to make us a reproduction commercial of the 91's commercial, but for the Switch 2. So if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to watch it in just a couple of seconds. Let's jump right in actually, and we'll talk about it after, obviously. So keep in mind that 1991 commercial that we just watched, and now feast your eyes on the Nintendo Switch 2 commercial. And I'll pump up the volume a bit.
When you decide to step up to this kind of play, this kind of fun.
Bully!
Obviously, they're going all out on Mario Kart.
Hey guys.
Nice jacket, Paul.
Why are you dressed like you're in a boy band?
Seriously? My Super NES commercial from the 90s with my long black duster, indie rocked hair, and beaded necklace? Now we're playing with power. Come on.
Hi, Uncle Paul.
Lisa.
I can't wait to tell my class how I clowned you guys.
That's a lot of lip out of you, Lisa. Time for our thumbs to do the talking.
Let the games begin.
Lisa, how are you going that fast? You don't even have an actual driver's license. Let me show you a little something I learned in the 1900s.
Ooh, you can ride rails now?
I'll be honest with you, that was purely accidental.
You boomers are cute, but you're gonna lose.
Don't be so sure, Lisa. I take tons of supplements. She's on a wall. She's on a wall.
Lisa, get down. You're not allowed to be up there. My head is a burger, and you know what that means? I don't exactly. It means something good. No.
Yes!
Lisa!
I'm gonna feel that tomorrow.
You know, guys, it's nice playing with power, but this is better because now we're playing together. Super together.
Uh-oh. He's doing a
Oh my
voice.
god.
Nintendo Switch 2. All together, anytime, anywhere.
Honestly, look. Is it a good commercial overall?
Hi, everyone. For those that are
I
just
would
tuning
say
in, this is Nintendo.
Maybe not. But is it iconically an awesome throwback? Yes, it is. So let's be honest. If there wasn't a 1991 commercial, this would be not a very good commercial. But for this, it is iconic. And I love the fact that Nintendo is throwing back to their old stuff. And what are the chances that, like, a guy who starred in a Nintendo commercial turned out to be, like, today, one of the most recognizable stars in Hollywood? Let's be honest. If we're looking at, like, it's kind of lame. It's lame, but it's awesome lame. It's awesome lame. It's like that lame that stays with you. And it's just awesome that Nintendo is like embracing that 90s vibe. And it's something that Nintendo doesn't do a lot. You know what I mean? They don't do a lot of cheese. Nintendo is more like a very, like, generally, they stay away from the gimmicky cheesiness, other than, like, hiring, like, weird, like, let's be honest, this is way better than, like, the other actor commercials that they tried to do with Brie Larson and all that, where it, like, we're supposed to believe that Brie Larson, like, plays her Switch all over her house. You know what I mean? But overall, I think that nonetheless, it's a nice little hint from Nintendo to show that they have a sense of humor and that they can laugh at their own, like, marketing being lame as fuck sometimes. Yeah, it is sometimes lame as F. But to me, this is lame with some heart. Does that make sense? It's lame with some heart, and it really is trying to capture their like older audience. Because let's be honest, often the problem with commercials is that they try to capture the newer audience, but they forget that huge batch of like 90s gamers that are still Nintendo fans today. And to me, this was like a hint back to that group of fans that were back there in the 90s. Because let's be honest, a new kid today, they don't get that at all. That is purely directed to the like 40 plus audience or 35 plus audience, which is really awesome to see. That's where I think there's a major shift. If you get what my meaning, it's rare that Nintendo targets that audience, and I think they're finally realizing that that's where a lot of their staying power is coming from. So honestly, just a really cool throwback, and just the fact that they republished their 1991 commercial on the Nintendo YouTube channel was like, I was like super surprised. I thought I'd have to dig around to find it to like do the comparison. No, they posted both at the same time. Awesome little throwback. So we're done with the cutesy stuff. Hey, I'm not 35 yet, 34, thank you. It's coming, man. 35 is right around the corner, my man. Right around the corner. So now let's get to, now that we've done like some of the cutesy stuff, let's get to some of the more interesting headlines. So number one, I called this way back when we actually played Assassin's Creed 2 on the Switch. I even called it before the game came out. I said Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. Well, guess what? It was rated by the PEGI rating system. And it's now been updated in the PEGI ratings for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Nintendo Switch 2. So if you've been waiting to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, if you've been crying because you don't have a PS5 or an Xbox and you're like, how will I play Shadows? Well, guess what? If you pick up your Nintendo Switch 2, you'll be able to play Assassin's Creed Shadows. Because yes, it is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. I called this, and now I'm even happier that I brought the game back and that I'll be able to pick it up once again on Nintendo Switch 2 and play it where most likely I'll have more fun because I'll be able to play it in handheld. So, if you were waiting around, yes, sorry, Bob, it is coming. You do not need to pick up a PS5 or anything. For $90, maybe. I think they should go for this. I think they should go for the even 100. Let's be honest. This is like a quadruple A game. Quadruple A, dude. They should just go straight for the 100. Why go 90? Dude, just go 100. Come on. Just do it. Ubisoft, you don't got the balls to go for the 100. Exactly. Then a month later, you can put it 50% off and we can pick it up for $50. So don't worry about it. Is it the greatest game ever? No, but it's solid. If you've liked the Assassin's Creed franchise, it's a solid entry in the series. It just, to me, my biggest disappointment was that it didn't really break the Assassin's Creed mold, other than giving you like 2 playable characters. And once you unlock Yasuke, it's like you don't need to play Assassin's Creed anymore. You can just go in and like fight people straight out instead of having to do assassin stuff. You know what I mean? Although there are some missions where I would say like you do still have to do like assassin stuff and you have to use the girl. But overall, that's maybe my biggest like disappointment in the game, is that it's a great entry in the series. Great. It's a very good entry in the series. It just didn't blow the lid or do anything like crazy with the series. And it becomes a little formulaic once you've hit like the 15-hour mark in the game. Like once you hit the 15-hour mark, you're like, okay, I know what's coming up. You know, and there's no real fresh elements that hit you after. But overall, still awesome to see that we are getting Assassin's Creed 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch, which just points me in the direction that I've been saying all along. Most major AAA titles now are going to be coming to every system, which is something that I love to see. Now, a story that maybe is going to affect some of you out there and that maybe you're a little bit pissed about, but I think it's worth mentioning. There was some there were some issues with the physical edition of Lunar Remastered Collection. By issues, we mean that they didn't make enough of them. And there were some pre-orders that were basically just not met because unfortunately they didn't make enough copies. So basically Gung-Ho, which is the publisher for the Lunar Remastered Collection, went out on X and posted an apology. However, they are promising a second wave of physical copies. So if you do have a pre-order and you didn't get your copy in the first wave, most likely you'll be able to get it in a second wave. Now, what is sad is that if you were aching to play this collection, it can suck. You gotta wait. But it's still better to know that you're gonna get it than, oh, well, we didn't print enough and too bad. So most likely you're gonna be getting it soon. And you know what? Most of us have backlogs. If not, you can check out the eShop Deals videos. Plenty of great games in there. Drop some views there. And yeah, I can build you a backlog in like 2 videos, right? So either way, there are solutions. What's a backlog? I don't know. I don't have one of those because I'm such an awesome gamer that I finish every game in like 2 hours. Speed run everything, never die. That's just the way it is. Tropical Freeze is still your favorite number 1 fave side scroller. I wouldn't go that far. No. Like, it's definitely an amazing side scroller, but I wouldn't say it's my fave overall. But it is a great platformer. Like, I would definitely give it like a 9 out of 10 and above. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. It's just like, if I think like I can come up with at least 1 or 2 that I personally prefer over it, but it doesn't take anything away that it is a fantastic one. Okie dokie. So, quick information, if you didn't know, if you didn't get your pre-order copy, there is a wave 2 coming up, so don't panic, don't start going crazy, you're most likely going to be getting it soon enough. Okie doke. Don't think we need to spend any more time on that one. Now, something that I'm very, very interested about seeing for tomorrow. If you didn't know, Elder Scrolls 4 Remake is going to be revealed tomorrow. 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. There is a reveal live coming tomorrow. Now, are we going to watch this next week? There's a very high possibility of that. But everybody is wondering. Honestly, though, Oblivion is a really good Elder Scroll. So I'm not going to lie, other than the fact that it is like aged, it's a really good Elder Scroll. So I'm not that sad that it's getting a remake. And if it can be not buggy, would be awesome. Okay? But basically what I was going to say is everyone is wondering, because they have not confirmed what consoles this is coming out on. Are we going to get a Nintendo Switch 2 version announced tomorrow? Now that is something that I'm really, really excited to find out. So what I think is going to happen is if there is a Switch version confirmed, we definitely will be watching this in next week's Warp Zone. If there's not a Nintendo Switch 2 edition revealed, it's a maybe, okay? That's pretty much how we're going to go about it, where I think if it is revealed that it is Switch 2, it is definitely worth checking out in next week's show. If there is not a Switch 2 version, we'll see about it. If there's nothing, like, if there's nothing better, you know what I mean? Because if there's no Switch version, is it really worth watching the whole live? Maybe not. But overall, still extremely excited. This is a very, very good, like, entry in the Elder Scrolls series. Some would even argue better than Skyrim, like, story-wise and world building and whatnot. But It is what it is. What's my favorite 2D platformer? It's really hard to ask me a question like right like that out of the blue, because it depends. Like, are we talking like all consoles combined? Are we talking about the Switch? And like, are we talking about like there's so many variations of 2D side scrollers that, like, are we talking action side scrollers? Are we talking about puzzle side scrollers and whatnot? But definitely, if I had to choose, like, off the top of my head, all time, I close my eyes and I name one, probably Mega Man X4 would probably get my, like, would be the quickest answer I could give to my favorite all-time 2D side scroller. Does that mean it's the best? No, but it is my favorite. Because, as I've said many times, there's a very clear distinction in my mind between best and favorite. Favorite is subjective. It is, if I was on a desert island and I could only play one platformer for the rest of my life, which one would I choose to play? Probably Mega Man X4. However, if I'm talking about the best overall, and I have to be, like, objective about it, I would say Super Mario Land. The SNES Super Mario. I have a blank now. Is it World or Land? One's the Game Boy one. One's the. Wow, it's World. Yeah, it's coming back to it's World, right? Yeah, it's World. Okay. I don't know why brain fart there for a second. Yeah, it's World. Like, as I was typing it, it came to me as it's like it's World. Like, I think that like, and I know some people would argue that Mario 3 is better. I would say that objectively no. Objectively no. Super Mario Brothers 3 is peak platforming. It's just if I put them side by side, one against the other, I think Super Mario World basically set the standard for 2D platformers for like 20 years after it came out. But, like, if you prefer Super Mario Brothers 3 over it, I can completely understand it as well. I just think World had more variety to it. Like, there's so many hidden paths. There's so many, like, things that basically set the standard. But yeah, so there we go. That is my like quick answer right now on the spot. Okay. But, like, if I had to choose just from the Switch without counting like the Nintendo Switch Online app, because it'd be ridiculous because we'd just be coming back to Super Mario World. Like, I'd need more time. To, like, look over it. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I would argue that Super Mario Wonder is better than Tropical Freeze. Tropical Freeze is great. I just think Super Mario Wonder is better. Like, I think that ultimately, if you look at everything that's included in the game, I think it's better. Did you guys do like the special levels? Because what I would agree is if you could just go through the base game, Tropical Freeze is better than Wonder. Okay, if you just talk about the base game. But if you take the time to complete 100% the game, Mario has better high-end levels. And, like, if you haven't played the high-end levels, like the ones that, like, the secret like the sort of Star Road levels or whatever you want to call them. I can't remember what they're called in that one. Yeah, Cyber Shadow is up there as well. No, it's not the lost levels, but there's basically like challenge levels all over that are totally optional, and like if you haven't played them, try them. There are some remarkable levels in that, some amazing levels. But yeah, like Cyber Shadow is definitely up there. It's just that Cyber Shadow I would categorize it in that whole favorite versus best. Like Cyber Shadow is definitely probably among, if not my favorite on the Switch, but I can't argue that it's the best. Do you understand? Like, because I make that distinction. Like, I would have to say on an objective level, there are better games out there. It's just that it hits every note with me that I love about like a 2D action side scroller. Okay, let's keep moving on with the stories though, because we're sidetracking here. We're sidetracking by far. Exactly, and like it's because when we're arguing about which one is better, like we're all arguing games that are in the 9 to 10 range. So saying that one game is better than another, it's like you're arguing like which Ferrari goes fastest. You know what I mean? Like they're already all supercars. They're already all the fastest in the world. You're just arguing which one goes a little bit faster than the other. Do you get what I mean? Like it's like, to me, there's no shame in saying like you're competing against Wonder and you your second place. You're still amazing, if that makes any sense. But I'll accept your guys' opinions that I'm wrong. You guys are wrong, but I'll accept that your opinions can be made. You know what I mean? Everyone has the right to have like wrong opinions from time to time. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Let's take a look at next is probably what for me is actually one of my most anticipated games this year. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Now the first impressions are in because apparently a bunch of websites got to play it. So I'm wondering where the hell is my first impressions review, you know? Like, dude, what the hell? Like I stream like every like good indie game on Switch. Where the hell is my first impressions review code? Where? Either way. Okay. Let's look what the other critics, the paid critics think about the game. I'm joking. They're not paid much. Okay, but first impressions are on Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and when I saw the comments, I'm even more hyped for this game than I was. Now, I want to thank Nintendo Life. I think one of the other stories was from Nintendo Life as well. I forgot to mention it. Make sure to give them some love. Check out their website from time to time. They do some great job. And they did a great job here of basically condensing together sort of the first impressions from a bunch of different websites. So I thought we'd take a look so far to see what they said. So, first of all, Nintendo Life themselves got a first-hand impression on the game, and this is pretty much the summary of what they said. Ragebound is shaping up to be another win for the Game Kitchen, which, by the way, is the same team that worked on Blasphemous. Dude, what the hell? And a wonderful reintroduction to the series' 2D origins. As long as the team can really nail the difficulty and give veteran players the challenge they've been seeking, this stands a chance of being the studio's best title yet. When I saw this, and this is the studio that made Blasphemous, and they're saying that this could be their best title yet, come on, guys. This is gonna be insane. Yes, Shinobi as well. Kings are 4-0. Damn. Let's take a look at the other ones, though, because they weren't alone. IGN said, I think of old school Ninja Gaiden fans are bound to enjoy this return to form. Ragebound has great pixel art, fast-paced platforming action, and new ideas that elevate the source material. I'm looking forward to learning more about Komori and seeing how her relationship with Kenji develops. From what I've played so far, this seems like another winning combination of beloved but neglected IP with passionate indie devs. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is out this summer. So we're probably not very far away, especially since now first impression codes are out. Goddamn. And Gadget says, even in early combat scenarios, I often had to fight 2 or 3 enemies simultaneously while dodging and deflecting ranged attacks along the way to my next target. Once the combat system started to click for me, it felt incredibly satisfying to bounce between enemies and use Kenji and Komori's abilities in unison. Oh man, like each one of these I read is getting me more and more excited. Like just when I hear that, like once that combat system clicked, like I love that game. Like Cyber Shadow was one of those. At the beginning, I was raging, but when it clicks, it then finally freaking clicks. And I remember which boss fight it clicked on. The stupid snake that comes out of the water. Like I made it through the game till the snake, but the snake was the turning point of playing the game to start mastering the game. And I love a game that has that turning point where you get there and you're like, boom. There was a before this boss and there's an after this boss, and the after this boss made me like basically the moment you turn Super Saiyan in your gaming of the game. Yeah, the cybernetic serpent really pushes you to combine all your skills. The bosses before, you could, I don't want to say cheese, but you could sort of get around by not necessarily mastering every one of the skills, but the serpent really pushes you to really use all of them. Inverse said, Ragebound feels like a deadly ballet where you're slaughtering enemies in an effortlessly pulling off incredible moves that's weird, that chain your strikes together. The sense of speed and movement in Ragebound is absolutely the game's special sauce, simultaneously making it feel innovative and exciting while still true to the original game's vision. Amazing. PC Gamer, it's an exciting new side to developer The Game Kitchen. While I appreciate Blasphemous' palpable atmosphere, I felt it was too slow and unfair to really hook me. Ragebound feels like something very different. A quick and clever take on retro side-scroller that's demanding without feeling punishing. Okay, that's okay. But this guy found that Blasphemous was too hard. It was too slow and unfair to really hook me. So this guy had trouble with Blasphemous. So I'm not sure we can trust his opinion. Okay? I'm not sure we can trust this guy's opinion. Lastly, from Vice, while there's still no proper release window for the Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, I'll have to clear my schedule once it releases. I already know that the second I boot this up, I'm not going to want to put it down. They knew exactly what they were doing when they gave me just a few levels of playtime. This got me so incredibly hyped up. I can't wait to see what the final product will look like. If it's anything like this demo, my Game of the Year choice may have been solidified. Dude. Can you say hype? It's fine. I was just being a bitch to this guy up here. I mean, I've had trouble with games. Sometimes you just don't click with a game. He didn't click with Blasphemous. It happens. But, you know, maybe it's not his cup of tea, let's just say. I'm almost sure it's going to get a physical version. Because like the publisher behind it, like with Konami and stuff, they're big enough publishers that they'll most likely put out a physical version. I wouldn't be too scared about that one. They might try to ham it up and do like a limited release, but I hope they don't. I hope they just go with a standard physical. Okay. So, honestly, super hyped. Like, I read this and I was like, I can't say the words. You know what I mean? I was hyped. I was like, super hyped. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about the biggest bit of news that happened last week, and most likely something that will put a lot of people at ease finally. We finally got a US North American pre-order date for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, if you've been living under a rock, you maybe didn't see this. But basically, on April 18th, when everyone was getting ready for Easter, Nintendo decided, F your freaking holidays, we're announcing our pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2. Thank you, Omega Cub. I'm glad that you I'm glad that you love my reviews and recommendations. You can't decide between getting Reinatus and Freedom Wars on Switch. Both are on sale right now. Let me just get a visual here. I like using Deku deals. They give you quick visuals. Reinatus. And what's the other one? I don't... Honestly, Reinatus doesn't ring a bell. I think I actually didn't play it. So, I might be... the bad... Freedom Wars, I'm almost sure I did, though. But I need to... No, I didn't actually. I haven't played either one of those. So, hard for me to let you know, my man. Because I don't like talking about games I haven't played. But... I really can't help you with those, unfortunately, because I haven't played either one. No, I didn't. I know. I know. Sad times. It happens. It happens, man. There are games I haven't played. And, you know, I'm not scared to say it. It happens from time to time, my man. But yes, getting back to our story, though, because I let myself get sidetracked there from an obvious remark that had a compliment in it. You know, I'm a bitch for compliments, so thank you so much. He started with a compliment, so I had to answer his question. You know. Yeah, Carry On's $5 right now. Carry On is $5 if you want a really fun Metroidvania. Like that is a easy pickup. $5 for Carry On is insanely good. It's not the best Metroidvania, but it's extremely fun because you get to play the bad guy. Okay, so basically, let's get back to it. So Nintendo posted on April 18th. Well, actually, GameStop posted it first on X. I actually retweeted it like an hour and a half after GameStop posted it. But we are getting our US pre-order date, our Canadian pre-order date for April 24th. This Thursday. So if you're watching this when I repost this on the side channel, in 2 days, we are getting our pre-order date. Now, a little bit of good news. For the moment, they're keeping the launch price the same. So, it'll be $449 for the basic console, and it'll be $499 for the bundle with Mario Kart World. They're also keeping for the moment the same pricing on the basic games. So Mario Kart World will be $79.99 and Donkey Kong Bonanza will be $69.99 at launch. Now, I just want to bring your attention, though, that they are mentioning every time at launch. We're not going to get into it, but we all know what's happening right now. There could be they are being very precise that this is at launch, meaning that there could be a future adjustment to this price depending on how things go. Okay? So if you really like, this is one of the times where I'm like, if you're unsure if you want to pick up a Switch 2, I would still move my ass to get one at launch, just because in a couple of months, this could, like a month after this release, this could go up. Okay? I hope it doesn't. I hope it stays the same. I hope it even eventually gets cheaper, let's be honest. But I think for 2025, this is the best it's going to get. And it could actually go up. Okay? Now, however, there are going to be a price adjustment here on some things. What they did is that they put the price adjustment on the Switch 2 accessories. So look, Nintendo's not stupid. People were already bitching about the launch price. I'll be honest, I've said it before, I didn't have that much of an issue with the launch price because I do find for what we're getting in the console, look, I would always wish things are cheaper. I've always said it. If I can pay less money for something, you guys know this channel's based around eShop deals. If I can pay less for something, I will. But if we're looking just objectively about the power of the console and what we're getting in it, to me, the pricing felt what I was expecting, felt okay. Okay? I know some people are going to hate me for that comment, but I can't lie. When people were asking me how much I thought it was going to cost, I said between $400 and $500. You can watch multiple streams back. That's where I was at. I was like, look, if we're getting what we want to get for the console, this is where we're probably going to be at. It is what it is. But basically, what they're doing is they're adjusting the prices on Switch 2 accessories. To be honest, it's pretty much all bumped up by $5, except for, I think it was the dock set. It was bumped up by $10. So basically, the Switch 2 itself, $449. The bundle, $499. The game's the same. The Pro Controller, however, was bumped up by $5. I know this was $79.99. The Joy-Cons, I'm pretty sure, was $5. Was it 5 or 10? Someone can check if they have the old price list, but it was 5 or 10. Everything else pretty much got bumped up by $5. I think maybe the Joy-Con strap, it was like $3. Yes, these are suggested retail prices. Stores can sell for more. Stores can sell for less. However, don't forget, this can all be adjusted based on how much it'll cost to import them on distributors in when future things happen. If they do happen, which I hope won't. Let's be honest. Okay. But basically, everything's going up by $5 to $10, and at least they're keeping it on the accessory side. So the good news here is that at least the launch prices are staying the same. I know some people will say this is too much, but look, it's better than going up another $5 to $10. Honestly, I think a lot of companies are going to be releasing free updates, Omega Cub. I saw a huge list of games that are supposed to be releasing, and I think that there are a lot of companies that are going to be releasing free updates. Some will be paid, some will be free. I'm going to start making a list on the channel of like a video of 5 games at a time of games that really need a Switch 2 upgrade. Like I can name right now like Darksiders 3, another Crab's Treasure. Oh my god. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. The Batman Arkham Collection. All like just quickly these 4 games, MK1. These 5 games right now, and that's just like going off the top of my head in 2 minutes. They all need upgrades for the Switch 2. And I would say even Another Crab's Treasure among those 5 is the one that runs probably like the best. If you can get it at 60 frames per second, the game goes from really good to fantastic. Ninja Gaiden, like starting at the 3rd one, really would be stellar. Witcher 3, another one. Witcher 3, Switch 5, Switch 2 edition. Boom. Right there, amazing. Either way, like I'm going to start making a list, a video with, like we're going to do a video where I do 5 at a time, like games that need a Switch 2 edition and why they need a Switch 2 edition and what we should look for in each game. Like Another Crab's Treasure, it's going to be running at 60 frames per second and just giving us a wider viewpoint and a better camera. Darksiders 3 was an insult to the series. One of my favorite series on Switch. I'll be honest, even if you played on other consoles, the 3rd one is my least favorite, but the Switch version was a complete insult. Complete insult to the series. It should have, like, the state it released in, I would have preferred it not release. Because I love the Darksiders series. I think story-wise or lore-wise, it's one of my most interesting series currently, like, running series. Outside of, like, the mainline Nintendo ones. And the 3rd one was a complete disappointment. But yes, so overall, you know what? I've got to say, considering the world situation, this is probably the best we could have asked for. Now, I'm going to also say that I am going to, on Thursday morning, be lining up outside of my local GameStop to try to get one, if I can. Because this release date has really messed with my shit. Because it's a day that's really hard for me to be there at the opening of the store. And I won't know till tomorrow morning if it's going to work, if I'm going to be able to get there. What's that awful wrestling game? Not WrestleQuest, the other one. Retro Wrestling Mania or something like that? Is that the one you're talking about? Or are you talking about just the AEW? Because AEW plays bad on every system. Anyway, either way, I am excited to see this happening. I am glad that, like I said, I'm going to be able to check this off my list and be like, cha-ching, Switch 2 pre-ordered, we're good. Now I've got to start selling my Switch 2 1 controllers and get some extra financing so that we can buy a shit ton of games when the system releases. I don't know how because I'll be honest, the reason why I'm getting ready is I don't know how generous developers are going to be with review codes when the Switch 2 just comes out, just because Nintendo can be very stingy with that stuff. So just so you know, like review codes, it's Nintendo that generally like provides them. And Nintendo is known to be one of the stingiest companies for review codes. So I might have to be ready to buy the games at first when it comes out. You can sell 3DS. The Zelda ones are like $500. Yeah, but I want to keep my 3DS. I don't think I have the Zelda edition. I think I have a normal one. Like I have a Zelda cover on it, but like this is my 3DS. But it's the 3DS under it, I think, is a normal one. I have to remember how to take the shell off. Give me a sec. I think it just pops off, but yeah, no, it's just a normal one. 3DS XL. Or new 3DS XL to be more precise. What games do I have in this thing? This was actually I really love this shell. I picked this shell up like it was liquidating for like $5. It has Zelda. What do I have in here? Oh man, what a lineup. Check this out. This is the lineup I have like in my 3DS case. Block my face. Ocarina of Time 3D, Super Smash Brothers, and Donkey Kong Country Returns. Dude. Like, I don't feel like selling my retro consoles. I feel like keeping them. Like, I have some really good ones. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, Demonic. I'm really trying to find some time, but as you guys saw, I'm really getting back to like 2 to 3 deal videos a week, and like I still want that as the priority because we have to get back into the groove for when like Switch 2 releases. But definitely, I'm gonna try to rotate in like reviews of physical, like, you know, headsets, controllers, stuff like that. And then we're gonna rotate in game reviews as well. I'll be honest right now, just so you know, the reason I'm not doing very many game reviews, guys, is that they're doing terrible. Okay, Switch 1 game reviews right now are doing terrible. And not only for me, for most channels, they're doing terrible because most people, like, not the hardcores, but the general audience have like tuned out of yeah, and this the worst is this shirt. Like, this shirt, the best part of it is the back. Like, this shirt is the best part of it. Isn't even the front, the shield. It's like the back. So you guys don't get to see the best part of the shirt. Yeah, I know how that sounds. The back side is the best side. Exactly. It's always better from the back. Of course, we're talking about shirts here, guys. Come on. Okie doke. Whoa. My man knows his facts. What's a game you want to revisit once the Switch 2 comes out? Like, honestly, I feel like playing Tears of the Kingdom, but I just don't think I want to play through the whole thing again. Like, I don't think the experience the second time around is going to be as magical, but I sort of want to experience what the difference feels like to see if it can pull me back in. But I'm trying to think quickly. Is there anything else? It's because it's really hard because we don't know yet what is really going to get a full, like, I'll be honest, the games that are getting remakes in like their wave one of not remakes, but like Switch 2 editions, I'm not super excited about them. If they get us a Mario Odyssey, maybe Echoes of Wisdom, but it's because I don't see how Echoes of Wisdom is going to get that much better on the Switch 2. Do you understand what I mean? Like, it's going to be like Echoes of Wisdom is great. It's probably my favorite Zelda from the Switch. It's just not going to benefit from the Switch 2 power upgrade as much. Yeah, I know they're confirmed to be free, but the reason why they're probably confirmed to be free, in my opinion, Champ Dancer, is that it's going to be very minor upgrades. Like, it's just going to be like a edition that runs on Switch 2 and that gets the better power, but the game itself, there's probably nothing that's going to really be changed about it. Like, the graphics are maybe it's going to run at 60 frames instead of 30. Maybe it's going to have like slightly better, smoother textures, but it's not going to be as big of a upgrade as like Tears of the Kingdom to Switch 2 Tears of the Kingdom. Do you understand what I mean? Like, it's probably just going to be a patch that allows the game to run above the original specs that it was probably limited to in the Switch 1. And that's where I'm getting to. Is that it's not that I'm not saying I wouldn't like to revisit it. I just don't think my experience is going to be changed that much by the Switch 2 edition. Exactly. It's going to be like a frame rate upgrade and probably maybe a smoothing of textures upgrade. You understand? Like, basically, because, okay, apparently Switch 1 games, we're going to get into some technical details here. Apparently, Switch 1 games are going to be emulated, okay? But obviously, if you're emulating a game, the game code itself, probably a lot of the games are locked. Like, Nintendo probably locks a lot of their first-party games to run at a set frame rate where it's advantageous to the game and it doesn't make the console stutter, okay? Most likely, the upgrade to this is just going to allow the game to go above whatever it was locked at originally, or go above the resolution it was locked to originally. Or, like you said, maybe it can just be a patch so that the game, rather than run through emulation, but I don't think that can, I really don't think that can be easily attained. But apparently it's been confirmed that Switch 1 versions are going to run through emulation. It's not going to appear clear to you on the console that it's emulation, but apparently it's going to run through emulation nonetheless. That's what a Modern Vintage Gamer said, that basically on the technical side. Said that's what's confirmed now. Switch 1 games are gonna work through emulation. But basically, yeah, I think it's gonna be, the reason those patches are free is because it's most likely gonna be like optimization patches. If that makes it, you understand? Which is why Nintendo doesn't want to charge for those, because they're not actually going to do much for the games itself. So that's why I'm just saying, like, those, am I interested? Yes. But is it going to be worth a new playthrough for a different experience on the Switch 2? Probably not. Yeah, maybe DKC Returns, you're right, could get a power push. But yeah, if it's a first playthrough, you're going to be way better playing it on the Switch 2. Like, if it's a first playthrough, you're just going to get a way better experience overall. Because there were some frame stutterings in Echoes of Wisdom. Like, there were some occasional frame stutterings in some parts of the game. Because of the style of game, it didn't really affect the overall experience, but there were definite stutterings. Like, Echoes of Wisdom was pushing the Switch 1 pretty hard. Which is weird to say from a top-down game, but yeah, it is. Okay. So now let's take a look at the Mario Kart World Direct. So it's 16 minutes long. We're going to watch it all together. Let me know if the sound is too loud, not loud enough, or whatnot. Let's start. Let's take a look at this, and then we will... Mario RPG will benefit, no doubt. Yeah, maybe. I think the latest Mario and Luigi game could benefit as well. Because the latest Mario and Luigi game at some points had some performance issues. Some stuttering and whatnot. I might actually, like, jump back into that one a bit. Okay. So, if you guys saw this, I mean... I think a second watch isn't going to be too bad, especially since it's only 16 minutes. Like I said, I watched it, but I was sort of doing other stuff at the same time. So this will be my first real attentive watch of the Mario Kart Direct. So I'm really excited to watch it with all of you. Let's jump in. Let's take a look at what this was all about. The game does look good. I'm going to say right away, at first I didn't think it looked way better than original Mario Kart, but put these graphics next to the current Mario Kart and you're going to see it's a world of difference.
Drivers, start your engines. Welcome to the Mario Kart World game, available exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. What kind of races await you? In Mario Kart World, you'll aim for first place in each Grand Prix. But why stop there? Across cities, plains, a desert, and even the ocean.
I want to pause for a sec. I like the whole open world concept. I just hope that they do have an option for the traditional Grand Prix as well, where you don't have to travel from one to the other. Just for when you're playing with like kids and stuff, and you want to keep things tight and like going from one course to the other, I think they need to have nonetheless a traditional Grand Prix option on the game. That's what I just heard, because they said whether you're playing Grand Prix or something else, and I'm glad that they would be keeping a traditional Grand Prix.
In this fully interconnected world.
Pokemon. Okay, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has been confirmed to have a free upgrade. There's going to be a free upgrade for Scarlet and Violet, and it most likely is just going to run okay now. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, don't worry, Scarlet and Violet are getting it. Actually, that I might want to play again. I wouldn't start a new game, but I might go hunting. I might go hunting in which I didn't do in Scarlet and Violet. Like I went to the Zero Zone and I got some of the rare Pokemons down there, but after that I sort of tuned out. I might actually get back into that game. That's when I might actually go back into.
Scattered throughout various regions that span this world, and you can freely drive between them.
That's crazy, man.
And we're only at the starting line. Let's introduce some of the courses that are waiting for you. Here we go.
Woo! Here we go.
Courses are found throughout the world, inspired by their surrounding region. Let's take a look at some of the new courses to explore. Ride the ridges and roads on Mario Brothers Circuit.
This is going to be like your traditional...
And cruise the curves around the canyon. You can't miss it. See the sights and structures of Crown City.
The courses look really interesting.
You can even soar in style down Main Street.
A lot of verticality to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like different levels.
Rapid waterways of Salty Speedway and make a splash around the city's canals. Stay cool in the snowy trails of Starview Peak. Just don't slip off while soaking up the scenery. Have a spirited showing at the ghostly movie theater Boo Cinema. It's a whole new kind of drive-in theater.
Are we going to have costumes for the different characters? That's what it looks like, eh? Like, rather than just the characters, we're going to have costumes.
Peach Beach, Wario Shipyard, and more.
Wow. Honestly, these courses look really good.
Titles are also here, but now they're reimagined and spread throughout the world, where races can happen during the day or at night.
Characters.
Race as familiar characters like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, and Yoshi.
Nothing special so far.
Plus new drivers like Goomba.
I love that. I love my Goombas.
Spike.
Spike is cool.
That's right. Cow.
Oh my god.
Even more new racers are waiting and ready to roll. Select your character.
There was a Krabby there.
Choose your vehicle. Then you're off to the races.
So are we still going to be able to choose like wheels?
Have different stats, so make sure to find the combo that best suits you.
So they seem to have done away with like the wheels and parachute or glider and stuff. Now it's just like each car will have its stats.
There are two main styles of race revving up in this world: Grand Prix and Knockout Tour. In both modes, up to 24 drivers can participate, the most in series history. Your rivals aren't the only hazards you'll need to avoid on the road. Look out for cars that shoot bullet bills, attacks from Hammer Brothers, and other obstacles along the way. Try to steer clear.
Okay, so Grand Prix, here we
And
go.
now, get ready for Grand Prix. With
Okay, so
Mushroom
there
Cup,
is the traditional
Flower
mode.
Cup, Star Cup, and more. Grand Prix races are held all around the game's world. You'll race through 4 different courses in each cup and aim for the top
That's good.
spot. In Mushroom Cup, you'll start off racing around Mario Brothers Circuit. While the second race will take you from Mario Brothers Circuit to Crown City. For the first time, you'll need to drive yourself to the next course in Grand Prix. So don't sleep at the wheel.
Oh, so we still have to drive to the next course.
And if you conquer all Grand Prix Cups, rumor has it that a certain colorful course will appear.
Rainbow Road.
Next up,
So we're gonna
is
have to
a
work
new
for
mode,
it.
Knockout Tour. From Golden Rally to Ice Rally and more. These extended races take you from one end of the world to the other.
Like, that's cool,
Get
but
ready
it's
for
going to
a
maybe
sprint.
suck for younger players.
You
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how the driving to the next course is going to work. But I'm just thinking, like, for example, in my family, you know what I mean? Like, my youngest is 12. Well, obviously now it's different than at the start. But when I first got the Switch, my youngest was like 6 and my eldest was like 15. So the Grand Prix was really fun because, you know what I mean? It had, like, you could just go from one course to another, and there were the options, you know, for like that you can fall off the course and that it auto accelerates. So I would do that for the 5-year-old. Obviously, she'd still not win, but it at least helped her stay in the race. I hope that they still have those type of options to really help close the gap for families that play together when you have like huge age gaps. You know what I mean? Like that. Nowadays, like the youngest is 12, the oldest is 21. So the gap has gotten closer. But yeah, I hope there is the assist mode for younger people, that they kept that. It's just, I'm wondering, like, if you have to go off course to go to the next course, how is that assist going to work? Because, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't let you go off course. But we'll see when we get our hands on it, I guess.
got to place if you want to stay in the
Knockout
race.
Tour has me super interested. I did see this part of it.
Speed towards checkpoints throughout the world. If you don't make the cut, you're out of the running.
I like that. It keeps like that stress up. It keeps the
Buckle up.
pressure on.
The competition gets more intense as you close in on the checkpoints. You've got to drive to survive in Knockout Tour. So keep your eyes on the prize and aim for first place.
Items.
Items
Ooh,
can
did I see
drastically
a,
change the outcome
feather?
of a race.
What does the
Here
feather
are some
do?
new items that'll help you out. Coin shell. When you throw a coin shell, coins will appear. Now's your chance to grab them. Just don't let your rivals cash in first. Ice flower. With the ice flower, you can freeze out rivals and send them spinning. Hammer. Aim the hammer in an arc.
Like, it's sort of
and
like just an
nail it.
alternate version
Hammers
of the
also stay on the
fireball.
course for a short
Does it
time
really
and
do
can be
something
used
that
to block
different?
off rivals.
Meh.
Mega Mushroom. With the Mega Mushroom, go big, so your rivals will go home. Feather.
That's pretty cool.
Use the feather to jump up and avoid attacks.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
You may even discover some unexpected routes. Comic. With Comic's magic, your rivals will transform. What other mysterious effects will happen? You'll have to see for yourself. The lower your placement, the more likely you are to find items
That's
that'll turn
traditional.
the tables. So when you get items,
Like,
go for
you know,
it.
That's sort of the sucky part in Mario Kart when you're always like in the front is you never get like the good
And
items.
if you're new to the Mario Kart series, there are added support features to
Oh,
help you along
okay, here
the
we
way.
go. See, I missed this the first time around.
These
Smart
include
steering. Okay.
Smart steering, which helps you stay on the course.
Okay, cool.
Tilt
Glad.
controls, where you can hold the Joy-Con 2 controller horizontally and use motion controls to steer. And if you have the Joy-Con 2 wheel, you can feel like you're really driving. Ooh, how about a quick break? A snack sounds good right about now.
Yeah, I was wondering how this
Hey,
works,
look,
the whole snack
it's a
thing.
drive-thru. Here at Yoshi's, you can grab an order to go. Dash food. Take a bite, and you can unlock outfits inspired by your meal.
Do you keep them
Eat some
permanently after
sushi
that?
and- Whoa, nice threads.
That's free.
Once
That's cool.
unlocked, these outfits can be selected from the character selection
Oh,
screen.
okay, so they are unlocked permanently after that.
Who knows what dishes or outfits you'll find? Make a pit stop and check out these drive-thrus all around the world. That was a nice detour. Now let's get back to the action.
Oh, dude, I want that one. The mariachi.
Let's introduce some new tricks that'll help you.
No, it's not
ace the
mariachi.
tricks.
It's more like the Italian guy that pushes the boats.
Charge jump. You can now use a charge jump by holding the drift button while driving straight ahead. Charge and release to jump. Use this to leap over obstacles.
Okay, I don't get something
Grind
here.
along power lines.
Okay. If you can charge jump, why is there the feather? Isn't this doing the same thing that the feather does? Like, what's the point of the feather if you can charge jump at any point? Am I missing something? Like, is there like a big is there a huge gap between what the feather does and the charge jump that I'm not getting?
And dodge attacks from your rivals. And if you jump toward a wall, you can wall ride for a short period of time. Chain some tricks together.
Do you guys
You
get
may
what I
even
mean?
reach
Like, doesn't this like sort of
places
reduce the
so
usefulness of the
close.
feather?
Almost there. Whenever this happens, be kind and rewind. This will return your vehicle to its original position.
Oh, so you can rewind at any time.
Nice, made it. This can come in handy when mapping out how to best approach a course. Keep in mind, though, your rivals will still move normally when you
Oh, okay,
rewind,
so that's the
so
disadvantage.
don't lose your lead.
Is that you're rewinding, but everyone else still still drives normally.
Want to take a spin in even more races? In time trials, it's you against the clock. Here, you can race without any other competitors. And
Honestly,
if
I
you
never
go
got into
online,
time trials.
You can download and compete against ghost data from racers around the world.
Because we have that in the current Mario Kart.
Customize the rules of the road in Versus Race.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
You can use the classic rule set of running 3 laps within the same course. Or you can choose to
Maybe
drive
this
the
will be
distance
answered
from
later
one
on. Do
course
we
to
still have
another.
different CCs?
You can even take the road less traveled and choose routes that aren't
Like,
in
are there
Grand
still
Prix
different
or
CCs,
Knockout
or
Tour.
now instead of CCs, is it just like, oh yeah, they're right there, class?
Up to
Never mind.
24 drivers can now compete.
I didn't
in
say
2,
anything.
3, or even 4 teams.
Yeah, I
Group
just
up
saw
and
it.
get
I just
ready
saw
to
it.
Put the pedal to the metal.
I must have missed it earlier.
Next up, battle mode. Pop off locally or online in balloon battle. Use items to burst your rivals' balloons. Pop them all and your rivals out. And coin runners, where you can go for the gold by collecting the most coins. Race or battle, enjoy whatever drives you.
That's cool. I liked in the old Mario Karts there used to be battle modes.
When you're not racing, you can enjoy free roam and go wherever your heart takes you. No roads? No problem. Ride the rivers. See
And
the
I sort of
seas.
like the fact that we're riding on the water instead of going in it.
Drive the
To be
desert.
honest, like the going in the water felt very
Or
samey,
jump off
except
from
you're in the
way
water.
Up here. You can go wherever you like, even to the edges of the world.
Yeah, well, we sort of already knew that was open world because they sort of said it the first
there's a
time
key
around.
switch over there.
It was one of the big hooks. Oh, that's cool.
Hit hundreds of P-switches you find across the world to start missions.
Okay, so there's missions to
Completing
like
them,
sort of give you
can
something to
hone your
do.
driving ability outside of races. There are also hidden coins.
Yeah, no, Mario Kart Water never bothered me. I just found that in the last game, I didn't really see like the
So
big
take the
difference when
scenic
you're in the
route
water and
and
you're not.
explore.
Like there is, but it didn't feel very
Also,
different.
during
If
free
you
roam,
get my
you
feeling.
can take photos whenever you like.
Like it was just a change of like visually, but
Strike a
it didn't
pose.
change up gameplay
Look at
that
the
much.
camera. Choose a frame to decorate, and nice. That one's a winner. If one person has Mario Kart World, up to 4 players can race in split screen on the same system.
That's pretty cool. Well, pretty cool, but like
The
it's what
game
we already
also
had.
supports local wireless play. Up to 8 players, with up to 2
Nice.
players on each system, can race together this way.
Up to 2 players on each system. So you need like to be 8, you need like
And
4
up to
switches.
24 players from around the world can join a race or battle in online play.
I think online is going to become a way bigger part of this. Like you're better off to be on Wi-Fi wirelessly if you're in the same house with 2 switches than
This
to have
may
like
look
4
free
switches
roam,
with 2
but
players
this is
on
where
each.
you'll wait while your friends join you.
Oh, but
Looks
maybe
like
you can't do
someone's arrived.
multiplayer in online. We'll have to see that.
Yep, you can meet up with your crew anywhere in this world. By checking the map, you can quickly see where your friends are and travel to their location.
Okay.
Battle or race with custom rules. Or just go for a ride together. Make this road trip your own.
I hope there's like official like tournaments, you know what I mean? Like I hope there's like automated
also take
tournaments
photos
where like
together
once a
along the
day
way,
you can
if
enter
that's
like
more your
tournaments
speed.
and stuff. Like for fun with people. Like I hope they go like a bit competitive with this.
With Game Chat, enjoy an expanded experience by talking
Like even
online
if they have
with
to
friends.
block out game
Use the
chat for like the
built-in microphone
competitive
to
stuff
voice
so
chat
people
while
don't
driving
start
together.
like, you know what I mean, like bitching at each other. Like I still hope that like there's actual like automated competitive stuff that
Or take a
that you
back
don't
seat
need to organize
and watch
yourself,
each
you know what I
other's game
mean?
screens.
No
If
problem,
you have
Wildman.
a
Have a
Nintendo
great one.
Switch 2 camera, you can enjoy seeing your friends' reactions while playing together. Who's close by? Wait, who just passed me? You'll be able to tell in an instant. Hey,
I don't know how
Michelle,
much I
and
like the big
bullseye.
faces everywhere.
And when playing together in person on the same system, a single camera can detect up to 4 people's faces. Enjoy the view and get ready to face off with your friends.
Like it would be distracting and whatnot, and it's just gonna like help people like really gang up on someone. Like I don't want my face on my character because like my whole family's gonna gang up on me each and every time. Yeah, exactly. Because I know, like we just know who's each everyone's character. Having the big face on them though makes it so easy for everyone to target the same person.
A transcontinental race around the world is just around the corner in Mario Kart World, available exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. A hardware bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World will also be available.
Okay, so there we go. Honestly, really cool. I just find that maybe I think I'll be honest. I thought I feel like I was expecting more though from that direct. I feel like everything looked really cool, but nothing was like that knockout punch. You know what I mean? Like that one thing that when I was gonna see it, I was gonna be like, amazing! Like I need this game now. I feel like it was missing that one little thing to make it feel like, oh my god, like I need to play this like right now. Yeah, it felt safe. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I think we're gonna have to play it to feel it out, but I think you're right. Nothing is Zelda good. Like it is. It's not Zelda. And it like Mario Kart, it's a staple game that everyone is gonna have, like most people are gonna have in their library, and it's a game that you're gonna play on a regular basis. But like I could never say that Mario Kart is my favorite game. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like the comfort game when you don't know what to play with people. You're like, oh, let's pop in Mario Kart. But that's where but that's the beauty of Mario Kart too. You know? That's like part of the beauty with Mario Kart. It's that it is that game. It is that, and that's why I said like I get that people are mad at the $80. I think you're right that I didn't see that wow moment where I'm like, okay, now I'm convinced that it's $80. It's just that it's that game that I said it before. No other game that I can think of have I played as regularly as Mario Kart over the last like 7 years. Like, I think there's never been like more than like a 2-week period where I haven't started up Mario Kart to play with someone on like with my family. Do you get what I mean? And I can't say that about any other game I own. Like even my favorite games, I still don't play it every 2 weeks. So that's where I'm like, I get it. I think what I was hoping from the direct, I'm going to say it right away. I was hoping for them to confirm support. If they would have said, this is an $80 game, but every 3 months you're going to be getting something new for like the next 2 years, I think then I would have been 100% convinced. You know what I mean? Like it's $80, but over the next 3 years, over the next 2 years, something new is going to be happening every quarter. Every quarter, we're going to be adding new tracks, or we're going to be adding new characters, or we're going to be adding a new feature. And that's why the game is $80. Because you're going to get some form of support for at least the first 2 years that the game is out, before selling us an extra pack. Now, I'm going to be honest, what I'm fearing is that there's going to be no upgrade for the game at first. And then after 2 years, they're going to try to sell us an upgrade. Yeah. Now, I thought that was going to be their secret sauce for charging $80. But now I think it's the opposite. Now I think they're going to give us nothing and we're going to have to pay for it. I'm convinced that we're going to have to pay for it. So like in 2 years, you're going to see like an upgrade pack. And you know what? It's because the upgrade pack to the previous Mario Kart probably did so well that they're like, it worked, guys. Let's do it. If they included in the expansion pack again, I'm okay with that. But if they don't, and you have to pay more, then I'm gonna be really pissed. Yeah, you're right, Frenchy Mom. If you add the base game plus the DLC, you're at $85. Unless you have the expansion pack. And then it's part of the expansion pass. Like, that's how I have it. I didn't pay for the DLC. Yeah, but you have to have the expansion pass. That's an important factor. It's not only NSO, it's NSO expansion pass. Which means that if you stop paying the expansion pass, you lose it. Do you understand? While someone who bought the DLC has the DLC. People who get it through the expansion pass like me, if at one point I stop paying for it, I stop getting it. But I get much more, I get many more things out of it. No, I'm not getting the Piranha Plant camera. I'm gonna, well, unless none of the cameras I have works with it. Because honestly, I find that the Piranha Plant character camera is shitty. It's like a 480p camera. It's garbage. Like, what the hell? Like, unless people are really like, review it. But so many people are going to probably be reviewing it. I'm not big enough yet for it to be worth it. I know it looks cool. It looks cool. But it would have to be a better camera. And honestly, no offense, for $35, you can get like a 1080p camera right now. Like if you buy just a webcam, so I don't get why it's that expensive. I get it's in the shape of a Piranha Plant. But what I mean is like 720p cameras are cheap as fudge to put in something. There's no reason it shouldn't be like at least 720p. Okay, I just need to take a quick bathroom break, and we're gonna start moving towards the new games after that. It's actually going to be pretty short, just to let you know, because there's only 5 games for this week. However, I'm going to say that there are 2 games in that are really, I think, going to be exciting games. But there's only 5 for this week that I picked out that really seem like they're worth investing time into. But like I said, we're going to get into that. I just need to take a quick bathroom break. It'll be like a 2-minute thing. Okay. Damn, man, my voice is really taking a hit tonight. Sorry about that. Had time to hit the mute button, luckily. But yeah, my voice is taking it rough tonight. And the worst is, like, I'm at the end of the cold. Like, I had a little cold last week. I didn't even talk about it because it was, like, just, like, a bit of a runny nose, you know, whatnot. But it didn't stop me from doing anything. But tonight, like, it's weird. My voice is, like, taking a real shot. Yeah, F-Zero GX will be in the first wave of GameCube games. I hope we really do get a real follow-up now. Like, I get F-Zero 99 is a cool game and all that, but I really want, like, a new F-Zero game. But honestly, I'm going to tell you why I don't think it's going to happen. Because we have so many Nintendo racing games coming out. Like, we have that, and then we have Kirby Star Ride. I don't think Nintendo's going to hit Nintendo, like, Mario Kart, Nintendo Star Ride, and, like, F-Zero in the same period of time. Like, we might get it, but I mean, like, I wouldn't expect for, like, the next 2 years. Good night, Canadian chick. Thanks for showing up. Isn't that what I said? Air Riders? Maybe I made a mistake. But yeah. Exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, if we do get like a new F-Zero, I'm thinking we're looking at 2027 and beyond. Oh, I said Star Ride. My bad. My bad. Air Riders. You're right. My bad there. Okay. But yes, so that's what's like. That's where I'm thinking that F-Zero right now is gonna like if you want it in the next like little while, I wouldn't be expecting it. I can be wrong because Nintendo does some weird shit sometimes, but like I don't see them like putting out 3 racing type games in such a short time. Like, even Air Riders and Mario Kart surprised me that they were announced, like, at the same time. Not that they're the same game at all, but, you know what I mean? They are, like, cartoon racers. It's like, it is a crossover crowd, I would say, that will like both games. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Perfect. So let's take a look now at the new Switch games for this week. Clearing my throat for this. My bad. Sorry about that. I just really wanted it clear. So hey everyone, and welcome back. It's time to look at the new Switch games for this week. And this week is actually somewhat of a quieter week on the eShop, where I could only really pick out 5 games that I think are worthy to take a look at for this week's new Nintendo Switch games. Now, does that mean that it's not a good week? Not at all, because I think there are some pretty big releases in those 5 games. So now let's jump into the games and see what has me excited for this week. By the way, don't forget to hit that like button and help support the channel. Didn't lose my focus there. Oh yeah, I was ready for it, Frenchie Mom. I was ready for it. But thanks for the $2. Very appreciated. Very, very appreciated. Yeah, I'm getting too professional. I'm getting too good at it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm actually turning into an actual decent streamer, you know? The times of me being like B class are passing us by, guys. I'm streaming too often. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have to change my strategy. Come up with something new, man. Can't wait to see what it's going to be. Okay. Now, this I have no idea how to say, okay? Jaleco, because it's Jaleco LLE, but like, I'm like, why did they put that? Why is it written like that? So weird. So I'm going to just say Jaleco LLE. Because, like, it's Jaleco games. It's games that were made by Jaleco. So I'm like, let's just say Jaleco LLE. But yeah. Okay. So our first game for this week is actually going to be a retro collection, and it's the Jaleco LLE Famicom version of Magic John and Totally Rad. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not that fond of Magic John, although I think it is an okay game to put in this collection. I'm really talking about this collection because of Totally Rad. This is a game that on the NES I loved back in the day. You're going to see in the trailer probably why I love that game. It's a 2D platformer where you get to basically change shapes all the time. It's a really, really interesting game, especially for an NES era game. You didn't see many games that had that varied gameplay. Now, this game is coming out on April 23rd, and it's going to be selling for $7.99, which is actually a pretty budget price point as well. Pretty appreciated. By the way, there is a pre-release discount dropping it to $7.19. So let's take a look at the trailer, and you can see that although this is a retro collection, it is a couple of games that I'm really happy to see finally coming to the Switch. So you're transformed into a boy skilled at skateboarding. You have to rescue Allison, who is kidnapped. Kidnapped, guys. Like I said, this is the game that I know less, which was the Magic John, but it still looks actually pretty interesting. So it's maybe one of those retro games that I mixed out of back in the day. Totally Rad, however, definitely more of my nostalgic vibes hitting me for that one. So honestly, pretty excited about this one. Part of me is wondering if Magic John was like the Japanese version of Totally Rad that had some differences behind it. Maybe that's why I'm not recognizing the game as much, because a lot of the gameplay looks extremely similar. And if I'm getting that wrong, you know what? Nonetheless, it doesn't stop that this game looks cool for this week. I'm loving the budget price point of $7.99 as well. And by the way, if that's the case, let me know in the comments down below. By the way, thank you so much, Nexus Creed, for the $2 donation. Very appreciated. Good job on the intro. Thank you so much, my man. So that's what we have for our first game for this week. Now, let's jump into our next game, which is honestly probably one of the biggest releases for this week, and that is Thunderfolk. Now, Thunderfolk, we heard about this game just a while back. It is actually a game that is coming to us from the remake, a new developer that was formed by ex-Blizzard employees, which is why I'm so excited about this. It's actually one of the Blizzard co-founders with ex-Blizzard employees that got together and formed a new development company, and it's bringing us this game on April 23rd. Now, the one thing here that has me less excited is that the game is going to be selling for $49.99. So it is pretty expensive, but it is a strategy-based game. And if there's one thing that Blizzard or the ex-Blizzard used to know how to make, it was strategy games. So it does have me extremely excited that this could turn into a revolutionary game A game with some great gameplay mechanics. And honestly, other than that price, I think we might have a great release on our hands. So let's take a look at the trailer and you'll see what we're talking about.
Deep below ground, in the dark and fathomless Sunderlands, hope persists in the animal village of Arden, your home. For many seasons,
The production
life
values
tree
look
has
very
protected
high, though.
Arden. But all is not well in the Sunderlands. The Sunderfolk of your village look to you, the guardians of this town, for aid. Carry the seed of hope close, and forge ahead into darkness in search of answers.
It almost looks like a blend between a strategy and a tabletop game.
Oh, heroes. I am afraid the ogres were just the beginning. You know what they say? A monster a day keeps the monsters away. Oh dear. Shadowstone everywhere. The corruption is so powerful. So Arden has protected. Disappointing. You will test your resolve, face unfathomable threats, find camaraderie, and employ impeccable strategy. But your adventure's just getting started.
Like I said, this honestly looks like an
And like
old
any
Blizzard
good
game.
adventure,
I'm not gonna lie.
one is
Back in the day where
best
Blizzard was
shape.
like on it, this looks like it. And the developer's name is Dreamhaven. I know the $50 price point feels high, but I have the sneaking suspicion that this could turn into be a really phenomenal game. And I'm looking forward to, yes, on top of it, can you imagine this with the Switch 2 and the mouse function? And this is the type of game I was talking about. It's going to be great on consoles, but with the Switch 2 mouse function, this will be a game probably that will be pushed to another level. But Sunderfolk, we're going to figure out pretty quick if it's a good game or not. It's coming out, like I said, on April 23rd, and it'll be selling for $49.99. One of the biggest releases for this week, definitely. Now, we aren't done with big releases, however, because we've got another one hitting us right away on April 24th. And this is going to be the 100-line Last Defense Academy. Now, this game is going to be selling with two different bundles. You have the basic bundle that'll be selling for $59.99, but you've also got a digital deluxe bundle, which gives you an art book and a soundtrack that'll be selling for $69.99. So this is like a full-priced game for the Switch 1. Now, there is a pre-order bonus, however. If you pre-order this game, you actually get a bonus digital novel as a pre-order bonus. So there could actually be a really good reason for pre-ordering this one, especially that initial reviews are already out. And I'm just going to tell you guys, this is pointing towards an amazing game. I've seen a couple of initial reviews and it's been pointing to a 9 out of 10 game. So sometimes I'm a little iffy on suggesting these high-priced games, but in this case, if you're into the gameplay that we're going to see in a few seconds, I don't think you have to be worried about this one. And if you are ready to drop that full price on a game, this one just might be worth it. Now, just to give you an idea, this is like a blend of a strategy game once again with a visual novel style of gameplay. It looks extremely interesting, but I think it's one of those games, although you get a vague idea of how it plays out through the trailer, it's one of those games that you're going to have to play to really fully wrap your mind around. So let's take a look at the trailer and see what this game has to offer.
昨日と変わらない普通の一日いつもの街いつもの光景毎日それが続く
So I put the subtitles on here since the trailer is in Japanese. But actually the trailer itself has subtitles, so I actually didn't need to do that. So that's why we're not getting the generated ones for most of it.
Devastating attack by unknown assailants, Takumi Samino's life gets turned upside down. A mysterious school mascot suddenly appears. While Takumi manages to get out of harm's way, he's then forced to enroll at the Last Defense Academy, along with 15 other students.
So it's almost gonna be like a tower defense game mixed with like a strategy, a strategy tower defense game, mixed with a visual novel.
An academy shrouded in secrecy, and the unavoidable loss of allies. Can Takumi survive this 100-day trial, colored by extreme and despair, and return to his normal life? The creators of Danganronpa present the 100-line Last Defense Academy, launching on Nintendo Switch early next year.
So there we have it. Like I said, a really like weird blend of strategy meets visual novel style with obviously a very anime influence to it. You basically have to defend your academy for 100 days. So there's a survival aspect to it where you basically have to survive till, I guess, the epic moment at the 100th day where obviously the storyline is going to unfold fully. But honestly, looking very interesting. And like I said, initial reviews are pointing to an amazing game for this week. So if you're into the strategy genre, I think this is going to be a phenomenal week with both Thunderfolk and 100-line Last Defense Academy. I mean, we're going to be eating good this week. Now, obviously, due to the prices, you might want to wait for discounts on these games. Obviously, with the Switch 2 right around the corner, I do think we're going to get discounts pretty quick. Because whether you want to or not, or we're going to get some Switch 2 versions with upgrades. But overall, nonetheless, if you're aching to play these games, great pickups for this week. Now, that's not the end of the list, though. We still have a couple of games to look at. And our next game is also releasing on April 24th. And it is going to be Super Technos World, River City, and Technos Arcade Classics. So they found probably one of the longest, most confusing titles for the game. Now, this game is going to be selling for $29.99. As I said, releasing on April 24th. And it is a collection of 12 arcade games from the River City and Technos library. Now, I've got to say, I don't know most of the games in this collection, but from what I can see, I'm very interested in picking it up. Once again, however, $30 for a retro collection. Feeling a little steep, especially because most of these games are most likely unknown to Western audiences. However, a lot of them do look interesting. Now, this is a 3-minute and 49-second trailer, so it is a fairly long trailer we're going to take a look at. However, it does a pretty good job of going through little tidbits of all 12 games, which makes sense why it's that long. So let's take a look at the trailer, and we can talk about it more afterwards. And I'm mostly interested, I would say, in the Technos arcade games.
Revived in the modern day. Super Technos World, River City and Technos Arcade Classics. Featuring 12 beloved titles from both consoles and the arcade.
So first, River City Renegade.
A more mature take on Kunio, set in Osaka. River City Renegade.
Now I feel it feels close to the one River City game that we got lately.
River City Dodgeball. Kunio's Dodgeball time. Come on, guys. Kunio steps aside for his classmate Sugata to take the stage.
The Kunio titles, I'll be honest, I'm not that excited about because we got similar titles on other collections, and they're fun, but they're like not insane titles.
Inspired falling puzzle game. Kunio's Oden. Powerful ex-military fighters take down
now these
bad guys,
have me a little more interesting.
The combat tribes.
Like I said, the arcade Technos games.
A tabletop-like experience centered around dice. Sugoro
This one
Quest
I'm
plus
maybe
plus
a little
Dice
iffy on.
Mix. stop to the revival of the Demon King in this action RPG.
This looks actually interesting. It looks like a Zelda-like.
An action game themed after Journey to the West. China Gate.
This one too, actually, I think could be pretty solid.
4 cyborg ninjas stand up.
This is actually the one I'm most excited for in this collection. Shadow Force looks like a pretty interesting action beat 'em up.
Bring back those memories from the arcades. The Combat Tribes Arcade. Become a soldier of light to defend the universe. Saint Selena.
This is like a Contra-like. There's a little bit of everything in this collection, to be honest.
The evolution of dodgeball games. Super Dodgeball.
Damn, that looks crazy.
Online multiplayer lets you play with long-distance friends.
Pretty interesting with the online
Take a
play.
nostalgic trip together as you play with or against each other. You can save the game whenever you'd like and come back to it another time. Maybe you can even save when things are going well to try and aim for a new high score. You can use the pixel characters
Like I
from
said,
the games
$29
as
is a lot, but
Register
if you
your
count
favorite
12
character as
games,
your
that is
avatar to show
under
off to
$3
your
a
friends
game.
online.
It's not that bad.
Put together your own original title to represent yourself. The combinations are endless. Experience the everlasting classics of days gone by. Super Technos World, River City and Technos Arcade Classics. Coming April 24th, 2025.
So the one thing I've got to say though about this trailer, the announcer's going heavy on the 90s cheese. that announcer's voice, I'm not gonna lie, the whole time I was thinking dude, this sounds like 90s cheese announcer. But other than that, as a $30 collection, look, we've seen worse priced collections on the Nintendo Switch. However, I do think once again this one is going to be hitting some discounts pretty quick. So if you are interested in these games, if you're a retro enthusiast and you do want to try them out, I would definitely say give it a month or two and let's see where this one goes. I do think that this one could actually get a discount pretty quickly. Also, the fact that we're at the end of the Switch 1 life cycle is probably going to help us a lot in getting early discounts on these Switch games. So overall, though, nonetheless, definitely one of sort of the better releases for this week. On top of it, it's brought to us by Arc System Works. Generally, they do some pretty good porting jobs. And now our last game for this week is going to be Deep, Deep, Deep Nightmare. Now, this is an top-down action roguelike, arena-style shooter. I can't say if I do or do not have a review code, but I might have a review code. And I would say that if you're into the genre, this could be a pretty serious little budget pick for this week. The reason why, the game is releasing once again on April 24th. However, it's only going to be selling for $9.99. So as a budget pick in this genre, if you're a fanatic of it and you're looking for something new to drop a few hours into, I would keep my eyes open for reviews for this one when it finally does come out on the 24th. Let's take a look at the trailer. It has an awesome little black and white hand-drawn art style to it. But you'll see the gameplay looks actually pretty solid. So there we have it, a pretty short trailer, but you get the gist of it. Yeah, it's more of like a Binding of Isaac, Binding of Isaac, but basically it's an arena style shooter. So everything happens in the arena. It's really all about mastering the mechanics and making your way deeper and deeper into more challenging sections. It has the roguelike genre where you're going to be unlocking new weapons and new items. But like I said, I really can't say too much about the game more than that, because that's what we can take from the trailer, from the moment. What I would say that I can tell from the trailer is it just seems like a solid entry in the genre. It maybe just doesn't break any new ground from what we can see. But overall, at $10 as a budget entry, if you're into the genre and you're looking for something new to pick up, I would definitely keep my eyes open for this one. So overall, these are the new Switch games I wanted to look at for this week. Like I said, a slightly quieter week with 5 releases. There's a lot of trash releases for this week, which basically watch out for. Anything that has the word simulator in the title for this week, I would definitely avoid like the plague for the moment. But other than that, as usual, let me know in the comments down below, what games do you think you might be picking up for this week? Did I maybe miss out on any games that you think should have stood out for this week, but I didn't pick up on? And don't forget, on the way out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and click on the notification bell so you know when all my future content comes out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video. Boom. Done. Let me check quick, champ, because Fort Dallas wins in OT. Damn. 6-5 for the Kings. Crazy. Man, those are some crazy scores. Crazy, crazy scores. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, the reason I'm going to GameStop, by the way, is because I don't have to worry about online pre-orders. Because the way they're doing it is that online pre-orders start with GameStop at 11. But every store opens at 10. So if you show up in person, you'll have priority over all the online pre-orders. So that's actually why I'm going to GameStop. Because honestly, I don't have the patience for the online garbage. Not that I don't love online. It's just that I can't deal with the website crashing and having to fight bots and shit like that. You know what I mean? I just prefer showing up in person 2 hours early with my fold out chair, with my Switch, sitting in front of the door and being one of the first 5 people in the store. Well, they're actually doing by the way, most GameStops in the US are opening at midnight on the 5th. They're doing midnight releases for the Switch 2, by the way, which is the other advantage that you might have for going with GameStop, is that they're doing midnight releases. So you actually are going to get your Switch at midnight. The one thing that sucks here in Canada is our GameStops can't, because most municipal regulations here do not allow midnight releases. I know here it says when the store opens or 11. But this is Canada. I didn't check specifically GameStop US. So I don't want to say you're wrong with that, because I didn't check specifically GameStop US. Hold on. Did I go too fast? Was it there? Why doesn't it easily say, like, they're saying the 24th, but give me a sec. Give me a sec here. Why is it so complicated? Like, shouldn't they just like have it in big bold letters, like what time it's starting and whatnot? That's so weird. The other option is to check X. Oops. I think we got some weird results there because I made a typo. Okay. See, 8 a.m. Pacific time, which is 11 a.m. Eastern time. So this is when the pre-order links are supposed to go live. So 11 a.m. Eastern time. Wait. Why does this say? Okay, yeah, so this is Eastern time. Is this GameStop Canada? US, yeah, it is. Yeah, I see. So anyway, they say it comes up on April 24th. I just know that here in Canada, the announcement said specifically, though, it'll, for people going in store, will be when the stores open. So I can't promise it'll be the same thing in the US, though. But anyway, I mean, I'm saying that's why I'm going with GameStop, because I can go in person and here I'm sure that on the opening it's going to be available. But it just sucks because, yeah, our municipal regulations here don't allow for the midnight openings. Stores are not allowed to open at midnight unless they're like licensed for doing that, and so they can't do it here where I am. So I'm gonna have to wait till the morning of the 5th. It does suck because since I wanted to stream all day, like the earlier I get the Switch, the earlier we can start streaming. But I mean, the other hand, I'm gonna get a good sleep, get up, grab my Switch, and we're gonna be able to play like all day. And I'm gonna negotiate with the wifey where, like, most likely, even if I take like a supper break, I'm probably gonna come back after. Like, it's probably gonna be like a very like long day of streaming. All we're gonna do is play Switch 2 all day, try the game, the GameCube app and whatnot. Yeah, I can walk to my GameStop in like under 15 minutes if I need to. I actually might walk on Thursday if I get up early enough. I might walk. Get in some fitness in the morning too. I have to suffer everyone's bananas. Yeah, man. If you guys have a Switch 2 on the 5th, man, we're gonna play some Mario Kart. It's gonna be freaking awesome. But yeah. So that is pretty much going to be the plan for this week. Yeah, so like I said, I can't get into the details, but I do have a review code for this game. And like I said, we're either gonna play it on stream or I might try to do a quick review. Like I said, reviews right now are not doing very well for the Switch One, which is why like it's all about putting my time on the stuff that does well. You know what I mean? Like it sucks because I love doing reviews. It's actually what I would like to do more than even deals. But right now, reviews are doing really, really bad for Switch One because so much like the Switch 2 searches are sucking up so much of the viewership on YouTube that the freaking console has to release. And then the Switch 2 reviews are gonna probably pop off after that. Like not the console, the games. Like right now, that's what we need is I need to review Switch 2 games. That's where the things are, where it's going to start popping off. Pretty sure. But yeah. Okie doke. So, you know what, guys? I think we're going to tune out like in the next five-ish minutes because we've gotten through everything. My voice is being a little shitty tonight. So it'll give me a chance to rest. And tomorrow I'm going to be able to put out the new Switch games video, repost the stream for tonight on the side channel, and get things ready. Definitely. I might try to do that, but there's so many planned that it depends how the releases are going to go if I can do all of them. Rewatch the King highlights. Yeah, I might do that. But yeah, man, it was fun tonight, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed watching, like I said, the Mario Kart Direct with you guys, even though it was a little late. Hope you guys enjoyed that as well. Like I said, I really like doing that, watching those longer little things from time to time. But hope you guys had a great time. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. Very appreciated. Helps the stream out a lot. For everyone who donated, thank you as well. And as usual, I hope I'll see all of you guys in my next video. Have a great one, guys. Have a great night. And thank you to all for showing up. No problem, Annie. Don't worry about it. Be as quiet or as noisy as you want to be. That came out weird as well. But yeah, have a great one.